Let's take a moment to look at the different types of lesson parts that are available when we're creating our lesson. So I'm going to go ahead and use the shortcut to go to Create Lesson. And I'm going to give this lesson a name. We'll call this Example Lesson 2. And what I'm going to do is we're going to go ahead and attach this. I'm going to attach it to the example program, and so that the lesson is in the same place as our other lesson. Once again, we could connect this lesson to any course or units that we have access to, but I'm just going to put it in the program for now. Let's go ahead and make it a public lesson, and I'm also going to allow comments on this lesson so we can see what that looks like. For our summary, I'm just going to type, look at the various lesson part types. We could upload an icon if we want. I'm going to skip that for now, and I don't have any documents to attach. So let's look at the various types of lesson parts that we can make. The first one is an information part. So information is exactly what it sounds like. We are providing information to our students. It means that if it's an information part, we're not asking a question, we're not asking for any feedback from our students. Your analytics for information parts will basically just show you which students have seen this information, and it will show you in aggregate how many times your lesson how many times this information part has been seen. So we have to give it a lesson part title, so I will call it Part 1. And I need to give it, I'm going to give it some text this time, so here is some information for the first lesson part. And obviously your text will be related to the content that you're making. With this lesson part, we can go ahead and add an image, we can connect a video, or from YouTube or from Vimeo, or we can upload an audio file from our computer. For this first information part, I'm going to upload an image. And so I'm going to choose one from my computer, and just to be creative, I'm just going to use the same mountain image I've been using. So you can see that I've added it right here. I'm going to give it an image name. I'm just going to call it Image 1. And the image name is internal, so only you can see this, and this is so that you can organize your images as you see fit. However, we also need to give it some alternate text. Now, this alternate text is extremely important. The purpose of alternate text is for any student who has an accommodation and is not able to see the image. When you add alternate text, any student who uses a screen reader will be able to hear a description of what the image is. And so I'm going to give this image an alternate text of Fremont Peak at day. And basically this text right here needs to give a full description of what the image is so that somebody who can't see the image understands what the image is displaying. In addition, you are also able to add text boxes to your image with the Blickel system. And so you can see that I have your text here. You can play around with where you want to put the text by just moving these sliders, increase the size of the text, change the color, and change the font of the text. And you really are able to add virtually an unlimited number of text boxes to your image. The way that you edit each one independently is just by clicking on it. And so now I'm clicking on text box 4. So I'll call this text 4. And you can see that if I make that big, you can see that text 4 is kind of big. So if you want to remove a text box, you can just click the X's to get rid of those text boxes. And just make sure you're clicking on the ones you want to remove by double checking the text up here. And so you can see I've added some text to the image. So play around with this if you need to. Maybe your images don't need any text, in which case you can just remove all of them. So let's go ahead and upload this image now. And that is excellent. So you can see I've just created my first lesson part. I'm going to stop this video here, and in the next video we'll look at adding a second lesson part.